Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mindovermania. My name is Christian. I'm a professional spiritual consultant and tarot reader, and today we are doing a pick a card reading. How this is going to work is you're going to pause, you're going to. Today's message is what's causing your anxiety? How this is going to work is I want you to pause the video, place both feet firmly on the ground, and I want you to sit and ask your heart space what pile resonates with you the most, okay? So, just a disclaimer, this is not meant to be the replacement of mental health advice. I am not a mental health professional. So if you are struggling with anxiety or mental illnesses of any kind, please make sure you consult a therapist as this is for entertainment purposes only. So, without further ado, let's get into the readings. Hello, everybody. You have chosen group number 1. We've got the Sense and Blinking Lights Are Me. Okay, so in terms of what's causing your anxiety, I feel like this pile in particular, you guys get overwhelmed pretty easy. So maybe you have a sensory issue, maybe an auditory processing issue. I almost feel like you guys, maybe you talk really quickly or you just struggle being able to stay grounded when you're out and about. With the blinking lights, I'm almost seeing like, say for example, you get overwhelmed going into cities because it's a little too overstimulating. I really feel like the root cause of this group's anxiety, or at least the stuff day to day, has a lot to do with just learning how to manage modern day living. It doesn't really feel, I mean, maybe there's a little trauma or childhood stuff going on here, but a lot of it is I just feel like you guys just don't know how to manage overload and information overload. We're going to go ahead and pull a couple more cards to get some more information about what's going on with you and your anxiety. Okay. All right. So what was interesting, two things that I feel are worth noting to this pile group one. Before I started your reading, I grabbed a worry stone with red jasper. Red jasper is one of my favorite grounding crystals. And I feel like you guys, in order to help with the anxiety of the overwhelm, I really feel you need to practice finding something that causes your hands to physically ground you so that way you're getting out of your head. There's a lot of grounding techniques available out there to help you with, being states of overwhelm. Listening to music in public is great, but there's stuff that, you need to be able to utilize your senses and finding methods such as like, touch or there's one thing that you can use like essential oils or even like putting hot sauce in your mouth if you notice yourself getting particularly triggered or anxious about something. That will help you ground back to reality because it takes your brain out of the mental loop. And I think also too, just some mindfulness, such as like meditating or like taking your shoes and socks off, even if you're out in public, like just put it in some grass or, just do things to like get your body moving. The anxiety just really feels like the information overload is not helping whatever you're trying to do. And maybe this is also circumstantial, because it could also be like maybe you don't have anxiety driving on the way to work, but maybe once you get into the office, you're like, oh my gosh, maybe it could be tied to social interactions. Maybe you have some psychic abilities that you've never actually practiced managing them. And so like you're constantly getting bombarded by other people's energies. You didn't even know that's what was bothering you. I do feel like this group has a little bit of lack of clarity in terms of what specifically is happening. So, having a healthy diet as well of anything kind of earth-based foods, like, getting some potatoes in there, yams, stuff that's just not processed. I think that'll help you guys as well. Please don't go away. Yeah, I do feel like you guys, maybe you get a little attached to people or you're attached to certain things. So maybe change causes some of this anxiety as well. So it's almost like maybe I see with like a group of people, maybe at work, and when you get left out of a meeting by mistake or if something happens, you go like, no, I got left behind and whatever. Or like, for example, even your friend groups, you're kind of just like quietly in the corner being like, hey, do you mind sticking around and holding my hand through the scary movie? Like you want to say that, but you're like, well, I'm an adult. I can't ask for that. But some of you guys, I mean, like, I think it's okay to ask a significant other or like maybe a friend that you're kind of close with that is not going to make fun of you. I almost felt like some tears. So maybe like there's just some stuff that like you've been stressed out and crying over the fact that you've been struggling with anxiety and you don't know what's going on. And I just want to let you know, like, you don't need to stress yourself out about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you can go take some supplements, go exercise, like, there are options available to you so you don't feel this stressed out energy all the time. I don't know, when I saw like the $50 bill, I just felt like I needed to put that out there. And like maybe you guys are like stressed out because you can't afford therapy or you can't afford medication. Maybe you guys have never considered that. Maybe you do need some meds. I'm a firm believer that, obviously don't over medicate, but us at the same time, if you're struggling, if you're like crying every day after work because you can't, you're so overstimulated and stressed, it's okay to take meds for a little bit. Especially like I don't feel like this group is like super, dealing with anything out of the normal, or maybe you guys are dealing with a hormone cycle thing like PMS or something that's causing you to be inconsistent. And just understand that there's modern technology that can help you out. I can also put some links in the description of this video to help you as well with understanding where you may need to get some more guidance professionally in terms of managing this. Love me dearest, love me true, let my heart always make its home in you. Yeah, you got to love yourself through this, you guys. Obviously you can't love yourself out of having anxiety, but specifically, with the sense and blinking lights, you know what I mean? It's like, our bodies are not wired to be living in those kinds of things. Our bodies are built for like they're thousands of years old from, being cavemen, right? It's okay if your body's overreacting. You're not weak. You're not, whatever, and trying to like suck it up and get through it is putting more stress on your body than anything. Okay. We've got the golden mirror, self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship. Yeah, I think like some of this anxiety is caused by, there's a lot of other people around you that are not noticing you struggle, or they're just kind of like, oh, what's wrong with you, or whatever. And I feel like maybe you had a narcissist in your past or a past life even, where everything was very one-sided. And so then now when you're struggling, you're like, oh, well, I shouldn't be upset about this, or I shouldn't be stressed out about this. Maybe you don't even know you're stressed, but it's like, I mean, obviously this is an anxiety reading, but I'm almost sitting here just being like, it's okay to breathe, especially if you're in a job where people are like, it's fast-paced environment and blah, blah, blah. You are allowed to take 2 seconds to breathe if it's going to prevent a panic attack or to prevent stress, okay? I don't care what is happening. Unless you're working in emergency services, everybody else can wait, okay? Everybody else can wait. Tell your boss to shove it, okay? That is like the biggest capitalistic lie that, 2 minutes to sit and breathe at the right moment in time is not going to kill anybody, all right? Or just be honest with your boss if something's overwhelming you, because like there's no sense in driving yourself crazy to fulfill unrealistic expectations. You got talking, interested, conversing more, awaited message. Yeah, maybe you should consider doing some talk therapy and, just kind of talk about what you're experiencing. Put some words to these feelings that are overwhelming you. And maybe you haven't been talking about something. Maybe you are forcing yourself to be in a situation to support your partner's job or the life that you thought you were living. There's something that maybe you're not even talking about to yourself where you're like, hey, actually, when I went roller skating last week, I kind of didn't want to go, but you said yes because your friends wanted to go and you didn't listen to me. And then I got really, really overwhelmed and didn't have a good time. You know what I mean? It's like things like that where it's like there needs to be more communication within yourself and establishing some boundaries about what's important and what's actually going to make you feel satisfied in the moment. Or, maybe avoiding stressful situations that are not going to happen. If you don't like war movies, don't go with your boyfriend on his birthday to go see war movies. I don't care if it's his birthday. Tell him too bad, take what resonates. And we've got not enough. Frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage. Yeah, I feel like you guys are really beating yourselves up over something that is not your responsibility. If you're getting overwhelmed, then you're getting overwhelmed. Okay? That is not because you were unworthy or unlovable. And I feel like a lot of you guys, like, as a result of this anxiety, it's also rooted in just not feeling good enough about yourself. Maybe nobody took the time to tell you that, hey, don't do this, do this. Like maybe there was like a little bit of a neglect here where it's kind of like that child that, you just kind of followed what your peers did, but no one came and told you, actually, you need to be doing this thing right here. And then you go, oh, okay. Like I can tell you, like this pile kind of reminds me of when I was doing like an IT help desk where people are sitting there asking you questions and they feel really, really dumb whenever you come up and help them out. And you're like, man, like, I just don't get computer stuff. And man, I should have figured that out right away. I can tell you right now, leave it to the professionals. All right. If you are being self-critical about yourself or not understanding things, it's okay. You don't have to know everything, right? No one's going to sit there and be like, ha ha, you're so dumb. Like, no. No, no, no. And if they are, then they're jerks. But like, you know what I mean? It's like things like, especially if you're learning something new, it's okay to get a little overwhelmed and stressed. If the economy's going to crap, like, yeah, if you're seeing things on the news, yeah, of course. You are enough, okay? And you deserve to have people around you that support you. And I think like some of the stuff you're getting anxious over, like I said, you're just overwhelmed and overstimulated. So make sure you're eating right, doing your breathing exercises, and reminding yourself that you are enough, okay? There's nothing wrong with you for being affected a little bit more than everybody else and being a little more sensitive, okay? Yeah, and also too, I have to tell you this, you guys are doing a great job. Okay, you are doing a great job managing your stress because I don't think you get told that enough. Maybe you don't have people that actually understand that you are really anxious and you're trying. And that's maybe you're a little secretive about that. And I just want to let you know, like, it's okay. All right, join our group chat because anxiety sucks. But you are definitely not alone in your experiences. Anyways, if you're interested in booking me for a personal reading, please check out the link in the description below. Comment and like and all that good stuff if you liked it. And please subscribe and like this video if you would like to support me and the content I create. Thank you so much, you guys. Sending you guys a lot of love, and I will see you next time. Take care. Hello, everyone. You have chosen group number 2. And the card you got was I wasn't thinking. Okay? And so we're going to be answering the question, what's causing my anxiety? Okay? And so what's kind of interesting about you guys is it's almost like you guys have anxiety to a level where you don't think straight or you feel like you're not thinking. It could be one of those things where you're just so stressed out and overwhelmed that you're at a point where you're like, I wasn't thinking straight. Now I made a poor decision, and now this is making me more anxious, and it's adding up. One of the visualizations I was imagining while trying to ground myself for this reading or this message was literally I saw like an anchor tied to my hips, and it was like pulling me down. And it's almost like you guys can't seem to get grounded at any point in time. You guys definitely struggle with that. So we're going to pull some cards to get a little bit more information about what's causing your anxiety. We're going to get maybe a little deeper picture into like, why is this kind of happening to this group? Because like I feel like some of you guys are like confused about like, why am I anxious? Like, why am I not able to think straight? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like you guys kind of brush off your feelings or emotions because you're like, well, I mean, I've been anxious my whole life, and things happen, and you just kind of deal with it. You know what I mean? And I was like, guys, no offense, but I have a feeling you guys have just been through a lot and you're just not used to managing yourself. I totally relate, and I get to it. I get it. But let's get to the cards. All right, so we got let them lie. They don't need your truth. You're mine and mine only. Yeah, so it's almost like I feel like some of you guys maybe you got gaslit when you were younger to not listen to your thoughts, bodies, and emotions. Because notice I said, like, the card says they don't need our truth, but specifically I said they don't need your truth. And I feel like you guys, like, were in situations growing up where maybe your parents or teachers or somebody, like, neglected your needs. So say, for example, you were like, hey, I have a tummy hurt, mom and dad. And you go up to them and you're like, can I have, like, medication? Or, like, what's going on with my stomach? And your parents were like, just suck it up. We don't do medication here. Or just kind of like, they don't actually provide you a solution to help you with your stomach ache. So you just sit there and have your stomach ache. And then eventually it gets better. Which, that is not a proper adult response to a child. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a solution to your problems, okay? So, like, for example, like, a hurt stomach could be a number of things. It could be like, okay, well, did you eat something? Are you using the bathroom correctly? Is it lasting more than a few hours? Are you experiencing your menstrual cycle? There's a lot of different questions you're supposed to ask. And like, there's something about this group that, again, if you didn't receive it from your parent, you're also not doing this to yourself whenever you're experiencing your thoughts, emotions, and feelings. So it's kind of like, okay, I feel anxious. Are you going like, okay, well, did I watch a TV show that was really inappropriate? And, a few hours later, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. Did I eat something that is giving me a little bit of heartburn? Or Am I not realizing that the person I'm talking to is giving me like heart palpitations for a reason because they're not good for me? I feel like this group is kind of used to being gaslit as well, where it's almost like, well, if I'm always anxious or if things are always bad going on with me, then I don't have to worry about my anxiety. Especially whenever I'm talking to a partner, it's like, well, they don't care because they're not going to do anything about it. It's my responsibility to manage, or I just don't manage it and I'm going to figure it out, or I'm going to smoke or drink or do whatever. And like this, they don't need my truth energy is really, really not good. And I think that is causing even more anxiety in your life than you realize, because when you have that attitude, yeah, your body's going to be super freaking out when you're like, hey, the person that's running this crazy train is not doing anything to protect me. So yeah, I'm going to start having panic attacks and a panic disorder whenever I find out that the person running my body is not making good choices for me, okay? Just saying. I'm not a mental health professional, but there's something wrong going on here. You don't have to be scared. I love you too much to allow it. Yeah, I think you just need like you needed reassurance from this person growing up and you never had it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like with neglect and things where it's like, oh, there was like the boogeyman in the corner. That's terrifying to a child. If you are seeing a shadowy figure in the corner and your parent just says, get over it. And then they go back to watching TV. You know what I mean? Like that's a horrible way to manage what a child is going through. And so you're gonna have scars that carry into adulthood where you're gonna be constantly looking around and you're hyper vigilant and you're like, when it's like, okay, take the time to pause, check in with your body and mind and say, hey, what's up? And ask it, what's going on? All right. Like I said, this is definitely a pile that should probably be talking to a therapist about this sort of stuff, because like you guys could have any number of reasons behind this. And so specifically too, if you have that childhood neglect wound, it's just something that people don't talk about. Like people assume that you got to get abused to develop anxiety disorders when it's really as simple as like, listen, if you learned as a child growing up that if you have needs and they're not going to get met by asking an adult, you're going to figure it out on your own. And especially if you have like an actual mental health disorder or a medical issue that your parents never observed because there were other things going on, you might be, making some mistakes in your self-care going on. And going forward, reassuring your body that you are there to protect it, it's going to help you so much with managing this. I should have said what I didn't say. Yeah, you're not listening to yourself. Okay, so say for example, like in dating relationships, right? Your body probably told you that it didn't like this person. So something I often tell my clients is like, when it comes to butterflies in your stomach is not an indicator that you like this person. It's an indicator of nerves. And here's the thing is if you want to have a happy, safe partner, you should feel comfortable with them. Comfort is a much better sign of compatibility than heat stroke while you're waiting and being nervous and whatnot. That nervousness can mean many different things, and it's familiar to your body, especially if you're used to dating duds or dating people that aren't healthy for you. This is a strong indicator that if you get anxiety around a person, that means they're not good for you. I don't care what you say. They're not good for you. Find people that help you ground, especially if you're constantly in a cycle of trying to find groundedness in your life, because like right now you can't think straight, right? This is unmanageable, okay? To be in this state all the time. And, say what you're not saying to yourself right now. Get your journal out and say, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And it is because I overslept and I'm, was late to work and, I'm not making as much money as I used to and blah, blah, blah. Just write it all down, but just get it out. And then that's, even if you're tired, because I feel like some of you guys, like your anxiety is getting triggered by being tired of the same situation and things not changing. Okay. And you can't blame yourself, but after a certain point, take charge and action and say, let's mix it up. Let's do something else. Get on medication, try a new exercise, do whatever you got to do to stabilize yourself. Okay. Do that meditation, and be serious about it. You have to be serious about this change. With acts, break up, separation, stop the pattern. All right. So specifically with what's causing your anxiety, maybe you tried breaking an addiction habit. And so you are experiencing a level of anxiety, either anticipating breaking a habit, okay? Or maybe, you're anticipating breaking up with a person that was really important to you, or maybe not important to you, but just you're afraid of the falling out of this relationship. take what resonates because everyone's kind of different. But this abandonment issue is like, oh God, if I cut the cord on these people, what's going to happen to me? And your spirit guides are going to be like, you're going to be so grateful you did. Okay? Because you weren't thinking when you made this decision going in with these people. You were hurt. You were objectifying yourself. You were doing X, Y, Z. Now, with your feet on the ground and your head firmly in place, you're suddenly realizing, oh shoot, this was not where I needed to be at all. Absolutely not. So take the axe, break up with the guy, and move forward and carry on in a much healthier frequency. All right, because you're abandoning yourself right now every time you just let the anxiety fester and you do nothing. That's why your child self is getting frustrated because you're not doing anything, just like your parents. Okay, just like your parents. All right, we've got surrender. Okay, we got the willow tree. Yeah, you really struggle with this. This is also causing anxiety. We've got the sage. Okay. All right, and the sage is telling me that you guys have a lot of wisdom that you're not tapped into yet. You know, surrendering to spirit is going to be such a challenge for you guys, but ultimately it's what you're going to need to do because here's the thing though, spirit got you this far. You got to tell it like it is. And surrendering to that truth to be like, listen, I'm going to break up with that person because that person's bad for me. And I had a hard time admitting that to myself and maybe to my friends and my family. But it's over, and I'm surrendering to the fact that I can take care of myself and get myself to a point where spirit can take care of the rest. Okay? And like learning to co-create with the universe that way will bring such a level of peace to your life that you have no idea. The fact that you're never going to have everything 110% under control. Even if you're famous and got a bunch of money, all this other, it doesn't matter. Anything can happen at any moment in time. You could get in a car accident and lose your legs. You could, anything could happen. You could have a nightmare and all the anxiety will come back. I don't know what's going on with you guys, but basically you got to surrender to the fact that you can't foolproof life. Okay? Part of living means getting hurt and learning to overcome it. With that stomach ache with the child, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, is it cancer? It's like, no. But you can develop ulcers if you're not taking care of your body and you're stressed out all the time, especially in your 30s and later. Why are you not taking care of yourself now? Why are you not letting go of all that stress and anxiety and keeping all that trouble trapped inside of you? There's the sage, right? Where maybe you need to talk to someone that's wiser than you. Go take some wisdom from somebody else who's been there, right? I'm seeing with all these teeth, dentists and whatnot, taking care of your teeth is super, super important, especially long term, because it's like you only got one set of teeth after your new ones come in, and you want to make sure you're taking care of it. All that self-care is important. And I wasn't thinking, of course you're not thinking. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because you can't take care of yourself. It's because your anxiety is limiting you. And this isn't just a self-limiting beliefs. I mean, yes, you have to break through self-limiting beliefs, but get on some medication if it's getting this bad. Okay? Again, talk to a therapist, figure out what's getting to the root of this stuff, but guys, let these things lie, okay? Because there's a lie you're telling yourself to keep you stuck. There's an addiction cycle to the adrenaline, and also to just let other people lie about you. Stop trying to figure the rest of the world out and say, listen, people lie to you all the time, okay? You don't need other people's truths about what you're experiencing. If your stomach hurts, go take care of it. Don't let other people gaslight you about what your medical situation is, what you're going through. Maybe all that stress and anger is sitting in your belly and, it's getting triggered by a romantic partnership. Then just release it. Release that man. Release that girl. You don't need it. I should have said what I didn't say. Yeah, some of you guys, part of your anxiety too, if you don't stand up and say something about what's going on, then your body will. And your body, you got to take care of your body because it's going to be the first one to show signs that there's trouble in paradise. And the more you resist saying what your truth is, the longer this stuff is going to go on. And sometimes it's going to be too late to turn back. Okay? So take your mind with ease, surrender to the universe, and it's going to be okay. Anyways, though, guys, thank you so much for stopping by and participating in this reading. If you would like a personal reading just to a disclaimer. I am not a mental health or a medical professional of any kind. So any of the advice I give you, again, this is entertainment purposes only. And if you would like to get that sort of information, I'm going to have links to certain people in my description of where you can get started. Okay, looking for people that can help you out, especially if you've never gone on a mental health care journey before. Take care of yourself, you guys, and I will see you all next time. See ya. Okay. Hello, everyone. You have chosen pile number 3 with I am sorry I criticized you. Okay. And so I do feel that what is causing anxiety for you guys, group 3, this is tied to a person or your personal relationships. The first thing I heard was bad person. So I don't know if growing up you were either around some volatile people, maybe you heard some things that you weren't supposed to, maybe fighting, or there was a frequency in your home of things being unstable. And also too, I'm just feeling like this, you are very, very, very self-critical and hard on yourself to a degree that it's not your fault. Okay, like I'm seeing like with this broken angel card girl, like there's literally like a inner child inside of you that is screaming, just like stop yelling at me, stop yelling at me. You know what I mean? Like if your anxiety is causing you to misplace things or distract you, like stop yelling at yourself about it. Okay, like that's really not healthy, and it's kind of abusive towards yourself. Okay, self-sabotaging energy. Again, I definitely recommend this pile. Make sure that you talk to a mental health professional, because this is not meant to be mental health advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. So obviously take what resonates, but please, 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 you guys, have some understanding about how you talk to yourself really matters. And especially if you've got people around you in your current life that are criticizing you, they need to go. Okay, like right off the bat, like I'm sitting here, like I'm just like, the call is coming from inside the house. And if you got people in your house that are treating you this way and they're not apologizing, then they need to go. Okay, your anxiety is not coming from you being dysfunctional. It's literally coming from other people that are treating you poorly, or people have hurt you poorly in the past. But I feel like you're still attracting people that are very critical of you and critical towards themselves. And something about money too. Like maybe you guys, some of the source of your self-doubt and anguish is coming from financial lack and insecurities. And so I just want to point out to you that yes, money is important getting through this life, but it's not important to the detriment where it's hurting your physical body and tied to your wealth. It's like it's almost like I'm seeing like there's a lot of shame. Maybe you in a past life or your family situation is very rooted in having money taken away from you, stability taken away, not having funds to live. And so all of this anxiety around money is just, it's just hard on you. It's hard on you. And I feel like, it's almost like you can't make the right decisions about how to get out of your situation, because it's almost like there's no hope. Like my family was poor, I'm poor, I'm in a bad area. Financially, I've never been able to get out. My family can't get out. There's just a lot of weight to this group with what your inner conflict is. And it's like, even I almost see you guys, you've tried asking for help and praying to God's kind of like the only thing that you have going for you right now, because you're just like, there's no hope. Okay. And I just want to like reassure you guys, like, like this is a tarot reading, but please understand that, you only have control over so much. You are loved very, very much by the universe. And, all of your hardships are not in vain. And remember, they're hardships. This is not you're a bad person. This is not you're getting punished by someone. Some of you guys are like, oh, I'm getting cursed by somebody, or it's no. There is not a single thing in this energy here that tells me someone put a curse on you and that's why you can't do what you need to do. No, your body is reacting to truth. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. Your body is reacting to your truth and your reality around you. Okay? So if you are a person who's stuck in a situation with a bunch of other bad people that are actively hurting themselves, trying to hurt you, even if they're not actively, like you're thinking, oh, well, they're physically hurting me. I'm like, no. Anybody who systematically denies you the ability and access to getting resources to take care of yourself, every time you say, for example, if you want to look nice for a day and someone comes in and makes fun of you and sabotages that, if someone is holding financial gain over you, there's like all kinds of energies in this group where I'm literally like, there are people intentionally holding things over your head that you're not acknowledging that they have nothing to do with you. And you're responding and acting appropriately because you should not be around these people. Okay? I'm sorry I criticized you. If someone is not capable of apologizing for their behavior and actions towards you, then they need to leave because that's not appropriate. We're adults. Okay. And also, it's one of those things where it's not just about being an adult. You are an adult. You are not helpless like you were as a child because children don't have control over their thoughts and actions. They're just trying to navigate the world. And some of you guys, you huddle into this childlike state because you're overwhelmed. So please, please, please see a mental health professional, talk to a social worker. You know, if you are in a situation that you are struggling to get out of, it's okay to talk to someone on a hotline. Okay? Like some of you guys, it's like there are free hotlines available just to literally sit and chat with somebody about what's going on, you know, and maybe someone can really gain you some clarity about what you can do to be more in control and proactive with your situation. If I'm blinded by love, then that will be okay. I won't turn you away. I'll let you lead the way. Yeah, oh my gosh, that was just a whole word salad here. Basically, I just see a lot of like blind faith, but there's not grounded action that things are going to change. Okay. And I think that's where you're having a hard time understanding that, yes, pray for things, but this I won't turn astray. You are being loyal to people that hurt you. Okay. I'm going to repeat that. You're being loyal to people that actively hurt you. I'm blinded by love. You should not be blinded in these situations. Okay. God does not yeah, can God lead the blind? Yes. But right now, like, you have to listen to God's word, not these people. All right. And God's trying to bring you away from these people, your angels, your spirit guides. They're trying to bring you away from this situation. So if you're going out there trying to find better and then you see the exact same thing, some of you guys, you don't even see the same thing because you're so traumatized. And like understanding that you are traumatized and that you are having a hard time, understand that your heart space is what's going to guide you there. That's your moral compass. That's going to get you out of the situation because it's going to tell you exactly where you need to go. Ask God what you need, where to go, and step next, and they'll show you. Your strength and light give me courage and hope. Yeah, okay? Like, a lot of your anxiety is like, you're looking for the strength and light outside of yourself when it's in you. You've been through so much, okay? Like, bring people around you and enjoy content that gives you strength and lights you up, okay? Because like what's causing this spiral is you're not seeing the light in everything around you. Some of you guys, you're not even spiraling that bad. You're just feeling hopeless right now. And again, it takes strength to look at the light when you've seen the darkness, when you've been in those places where no one was there to help you. So it's like coming out of that and looking around and being like, how am I supposed to live a normal life when I've seen like the depths of hell? And how am I supposed to have relationships and all this other? And it's just like, you're going to do it one step at a time. Just one little baby step at a time. And then those baby steps turns into walking. And then those baby steps or those walkings turn into running. And all of the stuff comes together. And you're not going to see how it unfolds, but that's where it's God's job. All right. Just because your wings are clipped right now, maybe you're going to have to learn to walk without wings for a little bit. Okay. Maybe as a result of something bad happening, you have a disability and you will never walk or talk the same. You're not a bad person for that. And it's not your responsibility to get revenge on this person or to stay hurting because you're stuck in someone else's energy and in your past. Okay? Eventually, this child or this fallen angel is going to learn how to stand up again, and they're just not going to fly the same. But guess what? Just because an angel doesn't have wings doesn't mean it can't get a plane. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Using that analogy, if you can't fly with your own wings anymore, like normal, get prosthetic ones. Go jump in your airplane. Angels can still fly without wings, especially the fallen ones. Okay? I love you more than I could ever let myself be. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys don't have people telling you that in your life, but I'm going to tell you this. I love you more than I could ever let myself be. Okay? I want you to know that someone out there loves you very, very much. And I know that this is hard. And you've been taken for granted. And sometimes, there hasn't been light in the darkness for you. And it was very, very scary. But you aren't going to stay there forever. Okay? If you choose to not stay there forever, then you're eventually going to come around and find something brighter for you. Okay? And maybe you've seen, again, the darker sides of humanity, and that's what's really causing a lot of this daily spiral conflict, whatever. It's okay to just apologize to yourself and saying, hey, I did what I could. I was left on my own, and you didn't need to be Superman. Nobody's Superman, guys, especially in the face of some of the stuff you guys are dealing with. Okay? Nobody showed up. Okay. Apologize to yourself, saying I did the best I could, but now we got to move on because we're not kids anymore. We have the adult ability to make choices that are different. We have an internet available to us to help us with our situations. If I'm struggling financially, if I need resources, if I got what, we have options now. Contact source, contact your spirit guides, ask for healing, ask for forgiveness, whatever it is you need. Like, again, like this, almost like you're like, I need forgiveness from God. God's punished me. No, God's not punishing you right now, hon. Forgive yourself, okay, for not being there, for not being enough to protect you, for this bad thing happening, for not being enough. And you are enough, okay? Because no human is supposed to survive the stuff you've been through. Especially not on their own, okay? But you can and will get out of it if you choose to. Moving on to the cards, sometimes I didn't know what to do. Exactly. There are some things in life where you could go through all the training in the world, and nothing's going to prepare you for what you experience and how it impacts you. That's why making choices to protect yourself is super, super critical to making sure you have a positive life going forward as a result of this. I watch you with your family. Yeah, your ancestors are watching out for you. And maybe you're like, I hate my family, or I don't know what good that does. I think it's just a reminder from your spirit guides, that the ghosts of your past and the people that came before you, they got you to this moment. And people see you even if you don't feel like it. Okay, they see you're struggling, they see you're hurt, and some of them can't do anything about it. And you got to let go of the idea that some rescuer is going to come in and save you. Because the only thing that's going to happen is you and spirit are going to make a pact to figure out how do you get out of your situation. Okay? And like this is kind of the source of the anxiety, is like this takes a level of strength and courage to get through that you're not maybe either used to having, or maybe you tried and you gave up. And I feel like your connection with spirit needs to actually be based in spirit and not based off of, well, religion or people. I mean, like, this is literally like you getting inside of yourself and being like, okay, it's you and me, God. We're all going to die eventually. Okay. And how you want to end up with your story is down to you and your fate. And however deeply you can connect to spirit, this is going to be the test of that. Okay? And it's going to be a testament. We got coffin, endings bring new beginnings. Yeah, something is going to be ending. A toxic cycle is coming to a close soon. And, your anxiety may be a cause of an ending. But that gives you the opportunity to start a new beginning, right? Maybe you didn't have anxiety before this situation happened, and now you do. Change happens. Okay? And the healing process is going to look different than it used to. We got the runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy. Yeah, you're running away from something, you guys. You're running away from what happened. You're running away from the price you paid that got you to this point. And you're afraid of the price that you're going to need to pay to get out. But I don't think you're as stuck as you think you are. I think a lot of our perceptions are based off of our own distortions, and especially when you experience trauma or something heavy, it's hard to look back on times when they're good. But I really have hope for you guys because of the standpoint that like maybe you're running now, but you won't always be. And someday you're going to get your legs back underneath you. You just got to choose that. Understand that, maybe today's not the day I walk and stand, but tomorrow there's a possibility. And as long as you say tomorrow's a possibility and there's a chance for something different, then you're going to be okay. Okay? I'm just saying things are not going to always go the way that you planned. And like I said, my eye keeps getting drawn to this girl here, and just stop being so hard on yourself, okay? You wouldn't be screaming at a child for not being able to do things, right? That's this wounded piece of you that you need to reconnect with, okay? Balance. All right, I'm going to quickly get through these last cards and then we're going to wrap up. We've got the Hanged Man upright. We've got the Nine of Swords in reverse. And then we've got the Seven of Cups. Maybe there was something involving the police. I don't know. I don't know why police came up to me. Maybe you have anxiety about police officers, the government, or maybe there's just an anxiety of something that happened, and so now you can't it definitely gives like PTSD vibes of just like, oh no, what's going on? What's happening? I need to react to it. Please, just be patient with yourself while you're healing, depending on how recent this was. Whatever happened in this tragedy, there's not much you could do to control it. And even if other people try to make you believe that you had control, both of you really didn't, especially in a mental health crisis. This Nine of Swords, this is kind of talking about relief from night terrors, because the Nine of Swords energy is about nightmares and, being plagued by heavy thoughts and feelings and just not being able to escape from that. And the Nine of Swords tells me that, you gotta release the amount of control you have over this, because there's no sense in dwelling in it. Because, having nightmares after something bad happening is normal. And especially what's causing you further distress is to actively participate in those nightmares over and over and over again. So like, for example, if you wake up and you had a really bad dream and then you stay focused on it, staying focused on your nightmares and your trauma keeps you stuck in anxiety. Okay. And you can ingrain really bad habits by staying in that cycle. So doing things to disrupt yourself whenever you're having these looping thoughts would be helpful. Again, working with a trained mental health professional to identify the root causes of this stuff. Because there's things that, you really shouldn't be tackling alone, especially if you're dealing with something heavier like a PTSD or complex PTSD, any of that sort of stuff. Please navigate that with a therapist, not with a tarot reader, okay? You can do energy healing work. I think that'd be very beneficial, doing your breath work and all that stuff. But remember, guys, and I'm very passionate about reminding people, tarot readers and spiritual people are not the same as mental health professionals. They don't have the same skills in their toolbox, and you want to protect yourself from putting yourself and opening yourself up to a situation or a person and being vulnerable with a traumatized version of yourself without making sure that they have the proper equipment and tools to deal with it, okay? Not every tarot reader is qualified to be talking about this stuff with people, so make sure that you reach out to a professional. Finally, with the Hanged Man, I think just this is a reminder to, your world may be turned on its head, but it also gives you the opportunity to see things in a different perception, okay? And so making sure that you are observing the source and cause of your anxiety from a different light instead of seeing it as coming from harm. I mean, maybe, like I said, if it's been really close to when you developed this or this stressor, that's one thing. But I want you to understand that time doesn't heal all wounds, but it does give you the opportunity to reflect better, especially if you've been learning how to take care of yourself. So the more time and energy you look at your options, figure out what you can do, stay grounded, cry it out. Just don't let yourself stay in one place for too long, okay? Get out of your head space, keep moving. All right. And you're going to be okay. All right. I want to send this group a lot of extra love, hugs, kisses, all that good stuff, because you guys just need an overflowing amount of love, to just compensate for all the stuff that you didn't get growing up. And just, you don't need to talk about your situation, but if you ever just kind of need something, feel free to slide in the DMs and just say, hey, I'm looking for some thoughts and prayers. You can do that on my live streams at any point in time, or you can just ask me to just say, hey, do you mind just praying for me for a little bit? And I'll be like, yep, no problems, no questions asked. Okay. I'm sending you guys a lot of extra love. If you are interested in booking a tarot reading with me, feel free to check out the link in my description. If you're financially struggling too, and you really feel it would be beneficial to you, I'm not opposed to doing sliding scale. If you really need something badly, for your situation. However, as I said though, please make sure that you are consulting with a trained mental health professional, and there are free services available to you, where they can just kind of talk you off a cliff and help you out. Okay. Utilize those free resources, guys, because that's why they're there. That's why they're free. And it's okay to be overwhelmed. All right. Anyways, though, I will see you guys around and have a great rest of your day. Take care. Like and subscribe.